Hello, guys. The coin here. It's been a while since I haven't made any videos or any live streams, but yeah, you know, I just haven't been feeling it with all the crap that is actually going on lately. And but tonight, or today, I decided to make a live stream about the presidency, and I believe that for you Americans, most of you like me, uh, I really never understood how the election process actually works, which is not. There is no election process, um, and I want I want just to put some guidelines into it because I found this article, the conversation, academic rigor, journalistically fair, who formally declares the winner of the U.S. presidential election. But this goes more in depth about how this actually goes on. It's really actually fucking incredible. This puts it out actually quite well. So this article was published on September 14th this year, and it says, with the U.S. presidential election rapidly approaching, at a time of extraordinary political and social disruption, the possibility of an unclear and contested result is coming under scrutiny. Unlike many other countries where the president or prime minister is chosen by direct popular vote, in the U.S., a candidate may win the popular vote and still not be elected to the nation's highest office. The U.S. also differs from most other democracies in that it has no independent electoral commission to certify the final vote. Why? Because it doesn't matter, and we will come to that. So, who actually confirms the winner? Step one: before election day. American democracy has many elected officials, state, local, and national, and many processes for getting into office. I have been working on election campaigns since I was 8 years old, when my dad ran for school board, and I went door to door asking people to vote for him. I've also worked on local congressional, senate, and presidential races, and now direct an academic research center on politics. What's striking is that every race is different, from deadlines and filling process to certification. Here, I'll focus here on the presidential race. The unusual and complicated presidential election certification process in the U.S. entwines all 50 states and the District of Columbia, the Senate, House of Representatives, the National Archives, and the Office of the Federal Register. It also involves the Electoral College, a unique American institution that convenes in 51 separated locations once every 4 years to pick the president. It's incredible, guys. This 4-month process was custom designed as a compromise by the founding fathers, who did not believe, listen to this, the founding fathers did not believe the American people should directly choose the presidency and the vice president. But they did not want to give Congress the power of selection either. The Constitution declares that American presidential elections occur on the first Tuesday in November every 4 years. But the federal election process actually begins in October, when the archivist or archivist of the United States, a presidential appointee responsible for maintaining the government's most important official documents, sends a letter to the governor of each state. The document outlines the responsibilities regarding the Electoral College, which is not a place, but a process by which electors, people who are chosen by their party, right? Look, this can't be even more clear. So people who are chosen by their party vote for their party's presidential candidate. The machinery of the Electoral College is complicated, but in short, Americans vote for the electors and the electors vote for the president. Then the winner is declared, right? Step 2, after election day. Not quite. Once a final tally of voters in person, mail in, and provisional ballots has been concluded, all 50 governors prepare their state certificate of ascertainment, a document listing their electors for the competing candidates. Each state completes that process at its own rate. This year, because of the pandemic, finalizing the electoral vote count will likely take a lot longer. Once completed, copies of the certificate of ascertainment are then submitted to the U.S. archivist. After the governor submits names to the archivist. Each state's electoral college electors meet in their state capital, D.C.'s meeting in D.C., to formally cast their votes for president and vice president on the first Monday after the second Wednesday in December. This year, that's December 14th. So nothing has been decided. They already told that they already told us that Biden won the presidency, but basically it was the media. So they're going to come to that conclusion on December 14th, right? So after the government submits names to the archivist, each state's electoral college electors meet in the state capital, D.C.'s meet in D.C. to formally cast their votes for president. So basically, the electoral college, these people are going to elect the presidency. It's not the voters. People actually believe that they vote for the presidency, but they don't. They vote for the electoral college, and then the electoral college will vote for the presidency. But this is this is this is kind of hallucinating, man. There is no there are no there are no elections by the American people, man. It's an illusion, man. That doesn't exist, you know. So let's continue to read in ways that vary. So yeah, what I still understand, yeah, the electoral college electors will will formally cast their votes for president and vice presidency on the first Monday after the second Wednesday in December. Like I said, December 14th is when these people will, so the electoral college electors, they will vote for the presidency. In ways that vary state by state, each state's electors then prepare six certificates of vote, which are sent by registered mail to the President of the U.S. Senate and the Archivist of the United States. The remaining four certificates are sent to state officials. That fulfills the Electoral College's duties until the next presidency election. So that is done. Step 3, Congress meets. On January 6th, Congress convenes to count the electoral votes and certify the winner of the election. Because the sitting vice president also serves as president of the Senate, Mike Pence will preside over this count in 2021. Just as Vice President Joe Biden did in January 2017, when Donald Trump officially became president-elect, each state called upon in alphabetical order files its votes. The process is in some respects ceremonial because by January the media has declared the winner and usually a concession speech has been given, but officially it is the moment of truth. At the end of the Senate's electoral vote count, the vice president announces the result and asks if there are any objections. In 2001, Democratic House representatives tried for 20 minutes to block Florida's highly contested electoral votes for George W. Bush. That effort failed because objections must be signed by both members of the House and the Senate before being voted on by both chambers of Congress. It fell to Vice President Al Gore as president of the Senate to the to declare Bush, his Republican opponent, the winner of the 2000 election. Look, are you seeing how ridiculous this is, right? So they're all opponents, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans, but once they got into Congress to make the final decision, they're all buddies, man. It's all make believe. So it doesn't matter if there is fraud or not, because in the end, it doesn't matter, because it's not the American people that is going to decide the presidency, man. It's going to be the Electoral College, right? These people are going to elect the presidency. So it doesn't matter. It never mattered before. So once again, despite all this, yeah, Biden can still win, but they are going to decide it, not the American people. Because if they decide to go with Trump again, like they did with Al Gore. So Al Gore was actually, I still remember this. Of course, I was younger back then, and I didn't care. But now it's making sense why Gore didn't won. Al Gore didn't won because the Electoral College didn't want him to win. That's basically what happened, So it doesn't really matter if people actually believe that, if the American people believe that they were betrayed by fraud, because in the end it doesn't matter. It really doesn't fucking matter, man, if there is fraud or not, because the bottom line in the end, it's not going to be the American people that is going to decide the presidency, But once again, so let's continue to read this here. That effort failed because objections must be signed by both members of the House and the Senate before being voted on by both chambers. So, yeah, basically they didn't want it to. They didn't want it. So, basically, what happened here is none of the members of the House and the Senate wanted to sign. So it doesn't matter. It's like I said, it really doesn't matter, man. They decide completely without any shadow of a doubt who becomes the president or not. It doesn't matter if there is fraud, if there is not fraud. The fraud thing is just for the American people to give the illusion that they have some power, because in the end it doesn't matter. It's like I said, whether there is fraud in the elections, which I believe evidence still have to be provided, but it looks like the attorneys are working on it. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter, man. They're going to spend money on these cases. They're going to spend money on lawyers and stuff like that, and it won't matter, because on the 19th of what is it? Because on December 14th, the Electoral College electors are going to decide the presidency. So despite the media, giving Joe Biden the presidency, it doesn't really matter, man. It doesn't really matter. They are going to be the ones that are going to vote for the presidency. So, but let's continue here. This is important because it's like I said, man. It's really it's really incredible, man. And I never knew it. The election process was the most undemocratic election process in the world, because it is. People still are still actually convinced that the vote that he put to the American people matter. because it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It never mattered before. It's a selection. Like in 2016, they decided to put Donald Trump in the presidency. You know, they could have went to the other way. They could have went with Hillary. But it doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter anything. And the American people, most of the people, because of the media and stuff like that, you know, people are not even coming to this information because they're telling us it's the most important election of our lifetimes. Bullshit. Because the American people doesn't decide nothing. Nothing. The American people don't decide nothing. Whether there is fraud or no fraud, it doesn't matter. In the end, it doesn't matter squat, right? So let's continue here. It fell to the winner of the 2000 election. After the Senate certifies the election results, all the certificates of ascertainment and certificates of vote then become available for public review at the office of the Federal Register for 1 year, then transferred to the National Archives for the permanent record. Those who question the outcome of a U.S. election, in other words, can actually double-check the tabulations themselves. Deep knowledge. Well, I'm quoting here, but let's continue. In the extraordinary event that no candidate wins the Electoral College, in the extraordinary event that no candidate wins in the Electoral College, the House of Representatives meets to elect the next president. This is how John Quincy Adams became president in 1824. So even in that case, so the Electoral College didn't come to a conclusion in 1824. So the House of Representatives had to select Quincy Adams. It's a selection all the way. There is nothing democratic about this. Although according to the Constitution, the United States is a republic. So. Like I said, I don't understand why they give the American people the illusion that they have any power whatsoever to vote, because you can't vote. You can't vote for the presidency. Only the Electoral College can decide that. And if the Electoral College don't appoint anyone, then a House of Representatives meets to select the next president. This is incredible. So this is how John Quincy Adams became president in 1824. Established almost 250 years ago, this complex process is a foundation of American democracy. What democracy? There is no democracy here. This is an illusion. Many have questioned whether this antiquated system truly represents the will of the people. Of course it doesn't. It doesn't represent the will of the people, because in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The presidents are selected, not elected. This document here doesn't put it more clear than here. And once again, the American people doesn't know about this. They don't even care. I know maybe a couple of people actually know how it works, but it's all bullshit, because they give the illusion to the American people that their vote matters, but in the end it doesn't matter for shit. It doesn't really matter anything. The science, the vote countings that CNN and the other stations put out there, it doesn't mean anything in the end. It's just a fucking show. It's a show, man. So whether Trump, because Trump can still be elected despite all the hoorah and all of the show that they have been putting out to the American people, it doesn't matter. In the end, it's going to be the Electoral College, and if the Electoral College can't decide, then the House of Representatives will do it for them. So in the end, like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one fucking bit what the American people vote. It doesn't matter at all. Zip. You know. This is a selection, guys. There is no democracy here. There is absolutely zero democracy. You know. Zero democracy. The president is selected by the selected, right? It's a selection of a selection. There is no democracy here. So I put that little article here from the conversation. I put it on the comment. So if you want to take a look at it, you want to read it, you know. My mind is actually blown because I know that this was a selection, but now starting to see how this actually works. Now I understand why this is the truth, So guys, this is my last 50 cents about all this. But guys, it's time to wake the fuck up. There is no democracy in the United States. There never was. The people never elected anyone. So like I said, guys, wake up. It doesn't matter. Your vote doesn't matter. It never mattered, and it will never matter until things stay the same. People, you have to start to understand that it doesn't matter. You have to get away from the politicians, man, because they're lying. They're lying about everything. It's all a selection process, guys. If you want change in your lives, you have to get these stupid motherfuckers out of there. All the politicians and the people that are behind the politicians, right? The politicians, the Electoral College, the people that are behind the Electoral College, that's what it's all about. If you really want a democracy, man, you really have to fight for it, because a true democracy only works if it is transparent, and there is absolutely zero transparency. And I'm not only saying in the United States. I live in Portugal, and in Portugal it's the same thing. They elect themselves, and we actually believe that we're electing anyone, because we have about 4 or 5 parties here in Portugal, or 6 depending. There are many here, but they always decide who wants to run. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. Even if we have the power, which I still believe we don't. Even if we have the power to decide one of the 4 or 5 parties, man, they already been selected priorly. So it doesn't really matter. It never matters. Never, ever. It doesn't matter. Because we are not part of the first process. So that's what I wanted to say about this. So I'm going to end the live stream here. But take care, guys.